Welcome to the ThunderCast, your martial athletics podcast produced by the fans, for the fans, with your hosts, Russ Livingood and KD Hugnall. We're bringing you the thundering word on the thundering herd each and every week, so keep it right here. The ThunderCast is on the loose. Thanks for downloading another episode of the ThunderCast. And before we get going, let me go ahead and make one correction with your hosts, Jed Horton and KD Hugnall. That's right. For the second consecutive week, Jed and I are teaming up together to bring you 5 things that every herd fan needs to know. We're going to take you around the herd. So we're going to get into all that. It's been a big kind of blockbuster-ish week here in herd athletics. So we're going to touch base on some of those things. But, man, some of these could be an episode all themselves. Big week. Big week. We got a lot to talk about. So there is no thing we can talk about before we pay some of these bills. So let me get us a word from our sponsors at Leasure Oliver PLLC.
Who do you call if you are ever hurt in a wreck? If you live anywhere in West Virginia, Ohio, or Kentucky, that's Leasure Oliver PLLC. You can find them at 304carwreck.com.
Jed, it's great to be back with you for a second week in a row. How you feeling this week? A little energized, a little jazzed, or are we kind of running on fumes right about now?
I think for me personally, man, I'm running on fumes. But hey, it's good to be here recording with you again for 2 straight weeks in a row. That's pretty awesome, man. And we're going to talk about probably some things that came out even as of today. So I think I'm kind of ramped back up. I got me, I got me a little cup of coffee here and ready to.
Golly, you're drinking coffee in the evening time. I would never be able to go to sleep, dude. What are you talking about?
Hey, the life of an IT guy, man. I tell you, we live off coffee, man.
The internet does not quit, and if it does quit, you got to fix it.
I got to fix it, yeah.
So we're gonna kick this episode off with at least 5 things, and it's not a true 5 things this week because late breaking news brought us a 6th thing to talk about this week. So let's get into it with 5 things every herd fan needs to know, sponsored by Ignite.link. Now, let me make sure I get the right thing here.
And now, here are at least 5 things every herd fan needs to know this week. As always, brought to you by Ignite.link, the Tri-State's premier IT management team.
I'm much better as a podcaster than a podcast producer, I think. So, but let's get into it. Number 1, women's basketball was in the field of the women's NIT. I did not see that coming. That in and of itself was awesome news. And then we come to find out is hosting a game this coming Monday. I believe it's the 23rd. Let me double check the date. I don't want to tell anybody wrong. Yes, March 23rd at 6 p.m. at the Cam Henderson Center. Tickets are under $9. So get out and support the herd in a postseason matchup at the Cam. They'll be facing the winner of historic rival either Ohio University or the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Most folks know them as UMBC. They're playing each other tomorrow as we record on the 18th. I think they're playing on the 19th. Winner of that comes to Huntington to face the herd Monday at 6. What do you think?
Yeah, that caught me by surprise too. I didn't know that we were in the running for any postseason play. But I mean, if you look at the women's record, I think this was we talked about this last week, or Russ and I did a couple weeks before. Like, this is the highest win count that they've had in quite some time, or anyway, they hit some sort of record with the number of wins that they had. So that got them some recognition. Obviously, a team that should have done a little bit better in the Sun Belt tournament. I think a team that was very capable of beating any team that they play in the Sun Belt. I think they could have beaten any team, and so I think that they landed them a women's NIT bid and a bye and a home game. So
yep,
That's awesome, man.
I think that's really cool. We did talk about this last week because it was SBC tournament, and we talked about how disappointing it was to go in with some type of momentum and then not be able to make even a run. So we talked about it being a disappointing exit from an otherwise really good season. And the point that I made was the bigger story is I think we've got the right coach. That is proven now, Julie Folks. And now we get to see what she gets to do in let's face it, SBC tournament's one thing. NIT is a whole different animal. That's a much more prestigious opportunity to try to notch a win. What a great time it would be to go on some kind of killer 5-game win streak, 4-game win streak, however many wins you got to tally to get to win the NIT. Wouldn't that be something, man? To early exit in the SBC tournament to make a run in the NIT.
Yeah. Well, and you talked about that. My memory is only good from about an hour ago, but you're right. We talked about this last week, and one of the things that we discussed was that her and Coach Jackson both, need to. Okay, we were able to win games in the season. We're able to put together good product on the floor. Now we need to win tournament games. And so now here's an opportunity to win some tournament games and kind of get you a do-over on, from, the early exit in the Sun Belt tournament. And the second thing is too, we've got several seniors on this team that, very, very disappointing for them to have to leave on that low note. Gives them one more opportunity to get on the floor at the cam.
At the cam, yeah.
So it gives them that extra opportunity to come out there and actually show these fans what they're capable of, and then hopefully, continue to move on and make a little bit of a run. So I think that's great for them too.
I do too, man. You got to think one more at the cam. It's got to be really special for those girls, man. I mean, senior day, they probably thought was it. And now here you go. Bam, we get one more at the cam. Families are going to be there. Anybody that's within any type of certain radius is probably going to make the trip on a Monday night, and for $9, under $9, man, what else are you going to do in Huntington on a Monday night for $9? How much fun are you going to have for $9? You can get to Cam Henderson Center and watch postseason basketball and a very exciting brand of basketball. I got to tell you, if I were anywhere close to Huntington, I would be there after work. That is what I would pencil in for Monday night. That's what I would do 100%. I'm jealous because you guys could potentially be able to do that. And of course, I won't be able to do that. So anyway, congrats to the women's basketball team on that NIT bid. How about number 2? Drew Harlow, Marshall pitcher Drew Harlow named SBC Pitcher of the Week. He went 8 innings of 3 hit ball, 10 Ks, giving up 2 unearned runs in 5 innings. 5 innings of 3 up, 3 down. Currently 5th in the SBC with 37 strikeouts. Drew Harlow found his way back to Marshall. I talked to Greg Beals about this, and I did not see this. I didn't, he had transferred out 2 years ago, played ball elsewhere last year, and then because of some rule where they got a year back, Beals is like, well, come on back, bro. And here he is. He's back, pitching for the Herd again. He tore it up 2 years ago, had a great season last year, but now he's back in the Kelly Green and White, and he's your Friday ace, and sometimes your Saturday ace. Having him and Blevins 1-2, you can cook, who you want matching Friday, who you want matching Saturday. Great weapon. And now here it is in this first SBC series of the season, and he's the pitcher of the week.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Last year, that was one of the things that Coach Beals needed to work on in the offseason is some on the pitching. We had some pitching lapses and things like that, and this year we've really kind of upped that. I think we're going to be very, very competitive in the Sun Belt, and Drew's going to be one of those guys that's going to make that happen for us. And it's, proof's in the pudding already with him. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's not he's going to be one of those guys. He has to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
Because you can't there's Moak, Miller, Blevins, great pitchers. These guys are great pitchers. When you add a fourth in there and you're able to weather somebody's got to go light duty for a while. Somebody misses a couple starts here. You're having 4 guys, in that to compete in a weekend series. That's big time stuff. If somebody gets tattooed around early in a game, you've got another essential starting pitcher. You can come in early in a game. You're not digging into your bullpen. I mean, Harlow is picking up right where he left off for the Herd. and he may be even better than he was a couple of years ago, and he was damn good 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Number 3 for this week's 5 things every Herd fan needs to know. Marshall football is partnering with the 61 initiative of the Sean Clark Legacy Foundation. This is a foundation started, of course, by the late former Appalachian State head coach Sean Clark, founded by his wife Janelle. The initiative has coaches focusing on and prioritizing their physical and mental health. You can make donations to the 61 initiative via PayPal. Of course, Sean Clark is a West Virginia guy, former GW high school graduate. So it makes sense that is an initiative that Marshall would make a partnership with. You know, we know all too well about hurt and loss, and we don't want to see that as a fan base, as a program, as a university. We don't want to see that. So anytime you can turn something that is so devastating into something that brings a little hope and a little happiness, I think the Herd should be forefront and center to be a part of that. And this is just the latest opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I totally agree, and this makes complete sense for Marshall to partner with that, especially with, you know, as you mentioned already, that you know, Sean Clark being a West Virginia native and you know, deeply rooted here, you know, going off to have a you know, good success in his career, and I think the foundation is doing good things too. So it's a double whammy, right? You support somebody that you know, has always been very friendly, even though he's coached for you know, a rival of ours, very friendly to us in the area, as well as doing a really important work with the foundation. So I'm with you, man. I think that makes complete sense, and glad they're doing that partnership.
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense. That was a really cool graphic too that they posted the back of the helmet with the 61 sticker on it. So really cool, man. I really like it when the Herd, you know, kind of cements these type of partnerships with these types of initiatives. It shows you that it goes beyond the field. You know, that Marshall is as much a state of mind and a state of being as it is a fan base and a university. And that's the kind of stuff that I really like. I don't know. Number 4, we're going to take it to Diamond Sports again. Marshall softball leads the Sun Belt Conference and is 33rd overall in all of Division I softball in RPI. That is 308 Division I softball teams. The Herd is better than all SBC teams. And as a matter of note, all 12 SBC teams are in the top 100 in RPI. Just gives a little credence to how competitive and how good that our conference is as a whole. Of those, half of them are in the top quartile. And I mean, the road's not going to get any easier. So it just proves that any conference win will help Marshall's RPI, but especially wins over those 5 teams in that top quartile really push the Herd to get a look if they can finish strong. Even if you don't win the conference, you start to get a look at an at-large bid to an NCAA tournament and things like that. These are the type of numbers that those selection committees, you know, kind of hang their hat on a little bit when they're trying to fill out a field, and Zerk's squad is leading the pack.
Yeah, and that's, you know, we talked about the Sun Belt, you know, having, you know, being very strong in several sports, you know, obviously in softball, you know, when conference play obviously is important, but you want to see that postseason play. And just like in basketball and football and those kind of, you know, different sports, you know, you want to see postseason play beyond just not winning that championship game. Because sometimes, you know, things happen, right? You have a misstep and you miss out on your championship game, and now, you know, you're completely missing out because of the conference. You know, you're being a one bid league. So the Sun Belt really positioned itself really well in softball, just like it did with soccer, right? You know, we saw in soccer with Coach Grassi building a very being part of a very good Sun Belt league. You know, building a high RPI schedule. Winning those games gets you into those tournaments of postseason play, you know, even if you miss out on the championship. So you're seeing that with softball in the Sun Belt. The Herd does its job, wins some games in conference, does really well. We want them to win the championship, but we don't. We want to see several teams get in postseason play this year if we can. And and they've got the RPI to do it.
For sure. It feels like the Sun Belt is almost a foregone conclusion, even early in the year, to be a multi-bid league, right? Because you talk about 6 teams in the top quartile of RPI. That's a very important number, right? But you still got to go out and win games.
Right.
And even let's say that the Herd wins the regular season championship but can't win the Sun Belt tournament, right? And then what are you doing? Like, oh, well, who's going to get the bid? Well, this is where the statistics like this matter, because this proves you're a really good team and you deserve a shot to continue playing. I think it's just awesome that I talked to Morgan about how she prefers to schedule and things like that, and we've seen them lose some games to some big teams in the out of conference early this year, like down here in Gainesville. They lost to the Gators, and it's a really good softball team. But to be able to do those sort of things, lose those games to good opponents, but still rank number 1 in the conference, says something about the type of schedule you're playing, the type of schedule you are gonna play, and you just got to win those games. It's just winning cures all, as the old saying goes. So I just think it's a cool stat. I'm sorry, I just think it's a cool stat.
No, I agree with you, man.
All right, number 5, Lauren McNamara of Herd Swim and Dive has been named to Team USA for the FISU American Games. She will compete in the 100 and 200 butterfly events. The FISU Games are in Lima, Peru, July 20th through August 1st.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Anytime that a Marshall student, a Marshall athlete, anybody representing Marshall gets to then represent the stinking country, in something is very, very cool. We talk about all the time that, and a lot of it, happens more towards, football and basketball and things like that, where, there's a lot of when your school can be seen from a national level, that brings really good, it helps with recruitment, it helps with your brand, it helps with, the exposure of your brand and all those things. But we can do that via other sports as well. And this is a big one here where you get a chance to represent your country, but also as a Marshall, a member of the Marshall swimming team, to say that gives that exposure, to the university, at a national level. So very cool opportunity for her, well deserved, and great exposure for the university there too.
Of course, and let's bring it back a few weeks, because just a few weeks ago it was championship week, and of course the Herd has to swim and compete in the American Conference because the Sun Belt does not sponsor swim and dive. And Lauren McNamara was your conference champion in the 200-meter butterfly. So this is not just happenstance. She is a champion, and she's going to go compete at a high level. And this is just the next step in the evolution of Lauren McNamara. And, well, leads right into number 6, the next evolution of Herd Swim and Dive, because just a month ago, Herd Swim and Dive was being discontinued, to the chagrin of a lot of the fan base. And there was a big, big vocal outpouring of support to retain Swim and Dive. And, well, number 6, Swim and Dive has been reinstated. The Board of Governors held a special meeting this morning, March 18th, to move forward in reinstating the Herd Swim and Dive program, along with moving forward to adding stunt as a female program to the umbrella of Herd Athletics. So before it was trading 1 for 1, now it's Swim and Dive is back. They're not going anywhere. And we're also adding stunt. Reactions to that news?
So, there may or may not be, I don't want to predict anything. You and I have not talked about anything, but there was a full episode dedicated to just
it was 100%
ending. And now there's enough content here for yet another episode, I think, about it being reinstated, because there's a lot to chew through. So I don't think we want to sit here and chew through all of it. But I think the biggest comment we can make is that there was such an outpouring of support. So many people reached out, and they even talked about it when in the press conference when they were announcing that they were, ending swim and dive. Just the outpouring of support, the direct text messages and the calls and all those things. The change.org petition, when we looked at it at that time, it was like well over 30,000 signatures. People were talking about willing to donate and what can we do to, keep this program alive, and such outpouring of support, I think really pushed this to, among some other things, really pushed to keep the program alive and reinstated, along with obviously the continuation of their need for more title, what's the term I'm thinking of?
Compliance.
Compliance. Thank you. Comply with Title IX as well, with the addition of stunts. So
yeah,
I think it's really good. I think that there's the outpouring of fan support is going to need to continue with donations and support and things like that. But I think it's really great that those ladies that we talked about in that episode, juniors that are having one more year, where are they going to land? What are they going to do? All this is now going to give them a place, hopefully, to stay here and swim their final year here. So as well as just a continuation for future swimmers. So yeah, I think it's a great thing.
So my knee-jerk reaction is, man, this is great news. Swim and dive is not going anywhere. I mean, like I've mentioned many, many times, and Russ has mentioned many, many times, we got to know several of those families and athletes, and they would swing by the tailgates and hang for a little bit. And, it was a sad day when we thought we were going to lose swim and dive. Ian Walsh did a phenomenal job and will continue to do a phenomenal job because he still is the Herd Swim and Dive head coach, by the way. He was at the press conference today, spoke a little bit. But now more questions start to get answered, right? Like, we had athletes enter the transfer portal. What's the roster going to look like? How soon are they going to be able to build back? And are any of these girls that initially entered the portal, have they committed elsewhere? Are they going to come back to Marshall? Like, what's that going to look like? The other side of that, to what you were talking about, is there was, a big outpouring of support. Well, now you got to do what you said you were going to do. You've got to support as fans. You have to make that donation. You have to come out to swim meets at the Fitch. You have to put some skin in the game, so to speak. And we're not talking about every fan endowing a scholarship. If you can do that, dude, do it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about, like, hey man, they've got a fundraiser going up on that's up on the I saw it today on the Herd Swim and Dive Twitter page. Click that link, donate $20 if you got it. Like, help them reach that goal. You can't, and this includes us, you and I and Russ, like all of us. We can't just be mad that things were going to be taken away, and now that they're not, there's still a very real financial need. There's a very real road that has to be navigated, and that's not just going to magically happen. There was some legislation that was passed in Charleston to help fund these women's sports, but who knows how long that will take to get off the ground, how long that will take to become viable, when these programs will see any of that money that is supposed to be the end game of this bill. So you can't count on that happening instantaneously. Does anything with government happen instantaneously? Hell no. So It's going to fall on the fans to rally that support and put your money, your effort, your energy where your mouth was. And that includes us, right? And I said it before, and this sounds like a perfect time to bring it up on yet another episode. You're talking about new ways to raise money. How many times have I said it on a podcast? Sell the damn towels that the swim and dive team uses. They're freaking awesome, man. Sell them. Make it a pre-order. Don't order 10,000 of them and only sell 1,000 of them, and now you've got 9,000 towels laying around. Do a pre-order. Make them $50. A lot of people will, like, that might sting, but they might buy it. This can't be a $250 towel, and that ain't gonna do it.
Right.
Like, make them affordable for your average Herd fan. It's a new way to raise money. It's something that fans in turn get. Like, who doesn't want to go to the beach with a sweet ass Marshall towel that has, like, the script Marshall right there on the sign behind me, and a Kelly green towel? That'd be sweet, man. I'd love to drape that bad boy down across the beach and just chill. So let's think that's a new revenue stream. It's something you can
Yep.
do over and over, once a year on a pre-order, every year, and you're never out anything. And all the money, all the profits go to the swim and dive program. That's the type of things you need to do, but you've got to appeal to the mass of the fan base. You can't price out everybody. I get it. It's got to be worthwhile. If you're going to do this undertaking, you have to assure yourself that you're going to make X amount of dollars to make it worthwhile. I get that. You're not going to put all this effort into it to make $1,000. You need to be able to pocket $20,000 or $25,000, $30,000 to the bottom line to the swim and dive program. I get it. But you still can't try to look somebody in the eye and go, these will be $149, because everybody's going to go, or I could just buy season football tickets and have fun all year, So you've got to find that sweet spot in order to make people feel good about buying something like that. Now, I'm talking like they're already going to do it. They're not. I mean, well, they might, but they haven't said they're going to do it. This is just another opportunity for me to say, sell the damn towel so I can buy a towel and have a towel here in Florida to drape and like use. But that's the type of stuff we're talking about. New ways to raise money and navigate these roads. So huge news in swim and dive.
Yeah, I think that's great, man. You asked my wife, anytime there's an opportunity for me to buy some Marshall gear, I'm in. I'm in on it. I'm going to buy it. I want it. She says no more. We have no place to put it. Our garage is full. Our attic is overflowing. But hey, I will buy it if it is available. And I think a lot of other people would too. And I want the towels, man. Just give me the towels.
Give me the towel, dude.
And I will buy them. I will pay whatever it takes. But like to your point, I think it's important that we make it accessible to as many herd fans as possible. And if you can make that accessible, where it's not, priced way too out of range, I think you're going to get a lot of people that are going to jump on that. And a great way to raise money, but someone gets something tangible out of it. Not that, you can't go and get donations, just a straight donation and things like that. I think those are important too. You live off those. But this is a great way to give somebody gets a tangible item, and gets to support this swim and dive program, hopefully into perpetuity. So I'm with you there. I'm with you there on all sports. I need a room for each section. I need a soccer room. I need a swim and dive room, football, basketball, track and field. I need all of it, man. I need all of it.
But not only do you get something tangible, you get something tangible that's different. I've got a drawers full of shirts, closet full of hats, but I don't have any towels. You know what I mean? Like that's something different. And that's something uniquely swim and dive, right? Yeah. That's hard. That's like the golf team refusing to sell the hats with the swinging Marco. Like, do you have any idea how many Marshall alums are golfers, or how many just golfers in general that didn't go to Marshall that would think that might be a cool hat to have, in the arsenal, but yet we don't sell those on the regular? That's the kind of stuff that I can't wrap my head around, because that's the kind of stuff that people want. And when you talk, if you're going to look me in the face and go, we've got to find new revenue streams, but we're not doing that stuff, like, okay. All right. So I get it. I mean, I don't get paid to make these decisions. Doesn't mean I don't have good ideas though,
Right.
But anyway, we will undoubtedly have some sort of deeper diving, no pun intended, show about the return of Marshall Swim and Dive and moving forward with a stunt team, because this is a big story and I don't want to just gloss over it as a thing. We had an episode about the discontinuation of swim and dive. All three of us were on board for that one. So it feels like we owe the reinstating of the program just as much attention as the potential shuttering of the program. So I don't know when that'll happen, but we got to come together and do something. But I'll tell you what, that's the end of 5 things that every herd fan needs to know this week, with a blockbuster right at the end. So Jed, if you've got nothing before we transfer into, let's have Layer 1 take us around the herd. What do you say?
No, sounds good, man. Let's do it.
Here we go.
And now, Layer 1 Solutions, your experts in business connectivity infrastructure, takes you around the herd.
Well, we're going to start it off with tennis. They actually played Western Carolina today as we record earlier today, and they won that 4-0.
Sweep.
So yeah, we talked about this, Katie, last week too, and Russ and I in the future that the coach was very very high on this tennis team. There were some parents, I believe, and fans. I can't remember who said what, but they were very high on this team. We went kind of earlier on in the season, had a little bit of a losing streak, but against some very very highly ranked teams. But I think we're now seeing as we start to get more into the meat of the schedule, playing more peer schools, that this team is doing extremely well.
Well, anytime you open with a sweep, I think it's pretty easy to talk about how good you're playing at the moment because,
Yeah.
I mean, dang. But, let's keep that sweep theme for later on in the show, by the way. Let's keep that alive. But now we talked about this last week. You're getting dangerously close, and it's not going to get any closer now than SBC's schedule starting. App State coming up quick on Saturday. Yep. So the SBC season is here. And again, I hate wording it this way, but these are the matches that really matter. These are the ones. I mean, again, to the athletes, every match matters because you only get so many in your career and you want to take advantage of every one of them. But as for a fan, for a championship standpoint, these are the ones that are getting ready to matter. It's winning the SBC. That's where it matters, and it's coming up quick on Saturday.
Yeah, and this is a great opportunity against App State, like you said, on Saturday to, let's open up conference play. Let's get us a win. Let's be consistent through the rest of the SBC play, and let's show the conference why this is a top tier team.
Correct.
All right. Well, we're going to run on over to track and field. The River City Relays will be Thursday and Friday.
River City, where's that at? I wonder if I was like, what's the River City? Huntington? Surely not.
I don't know where that's at.
Might be.
It doesn't say. I don't know if you can pull that up real quick. Or
I'm looking. I don't know. I don't think. I was just curious. I mean, there's tons of River City around the country. So who knows? But I imagine it is somewhere close. But isn't this also the start of the outdoor season?
Yes,
well?
It is. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, we are now with the weather. Yep, getting nicer and.
All right, so there you go. This is the start of the outdoor season. One other note for her track and field that was kind of a late breaking thing. We had a commitment this afternoon. Annie Whited from Lewisburg, in-state girl from Greenbrier East High School, commits to the herd. I don't know, if she is a runner or a field athlete. It does not specify in the tweet by Marshall Track and Field or cross country. It just says that she has signed. So welcome to the herd, Annie Whited.
So it says here, if this is correct, I ran this. See if this is right. It's Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, that's right. I did see Russ did say that. He, right now we are. He is listening to this episode and he's pulling out his hair because he's like, I said that. I said Jacksonville.
Yeah, I would love to know his thoughts on the listen throughs on these. Just
no, I don't want to know the notes. I don't want to know the notes. Yeah. Keep the notes, right? I just like I'm not. Yeah, I love you to death, but I'm not. I don't need notes.
I did notice though too that I love that the pronunciations are written out still. Please keep it up, Russ. We appreciate it.
Well, I mean, I played a lot of Carmen Sandiego when I was a kid, so I know that Lima, Peru is not like lima bean. I mean, I was aware he didn't have to spell out Lima, but still love the guy.
Hey, that's just, I think he needs to know that. Yeah, he needs to do that for around the herd segments because I'm the one here because you'll see me so for those of you listening, you don't see it. I lean forward into the camera. You just get a big shot of my forehead while I'm trying to read the word and sound it out in real time, butchering names left and right. But we carry on. Right. So we're going to go ahead and move over to men's golf. Finished tied for 16th at the Sea Palms Invitational last week. Clayton Thomas led the herd with a 1 under par finish, which was tied for 16th overall. And then Thomas had 16 birdies over 3 rounds, which is Very impressive.
Which is better than I'll ever do, ever.
Yeah. I'll never have 16. Yeah. In my whole career, I will never have 16 birdies.
Correct. Yeah, good for them, man. Top 16 finish. How about that?
Yes. On the women's side, they have the Mountain View Collegiate. That will be in Tucson, Arizona on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that'll be
heading out west. Man,
heading out west.
It's a long trip for a golf weekend. That'd be pretty nice. Dang.
Yeah, I mean, and this probably is the time of year you want to be in Arizona.
Well, I guess. I don't want to be there in like July.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in Florida in July and August. That's not any damn better, I'll tell you.
Right.
It's like, if you're going to come play golf down here in August, you're going to play in the Gates of Hell Open. I guarantee it. It is utterly miserable in August down here. But cool, man. Trip to Arizona sounds pretty fun, actually. That sounds pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yep. And we'll bring you guys the results on our next recording here. So, all right. Taking it to the Diamond Sports on baseball. You alluded to this earlier, KD, but the Herd swept Georgia State at home this past weekend with wins of 5-2, 4-2, and then 13-7.
Yeah.
And then, so thoughts on that series?
The thoughts on that are that was the important series, right? We talked about this before. Win the SBC. Midweeks are great. If you want to win those, I mean, if you want to win, of course you want to win them. If you win those, great. But those are just to keep everybody loose, in my opinion, right? I mean, I know Greg Beals and these boys want to win every damn game they walk on the field to play. I get that. But for me, once you get into the meat of the SBC season, midweeks are about staying warm, keeping loose, that type of thing. Just keeping the rhythm going, right? Guys getting their innings in, getting their swings in, that kind of stuff, staying competitive. You don't want to just be in the cages. I mean, I'd rather play a game, So a sweep is exactly the way you want to start the season out in the conference slate. Exactly the way you want to see it play out. And we had good pitching all weekend. We had some good hitting all weekend. Defense was pretty good all weekend. This was really good for fans that went to the Jack to watch the series. They were treated to some really good baseball. So this is exactly how I had hoped that the guys would open up the SBC slate. Sucks that the game against Kentucky was canceled because of weather, but hey, cancel a game rather than go out and play in something you shouldn't be playing in and cause a lingering injury that's going to affect the hell out of you later on in the season. Just take the Mother Nature L. She never loses a game. Mother Nature is undefeated. So just take that one, get some work in the clubhouse, and look forward to the next conference series, which is down south against a pretty decent squad in and of itself. So, hey, take them where you can get them, but love the sweep.
Yeah, a great way to start. Start conference play. And like you said, with Mother Nature, I mean, this is that time of year, man. Up here, I don't know how Florida is, but up here, I was in t-shirt and shorts, sweating, debating whether I was going to mow grass on Sunday, and then on Monday evening, watched us get several inches of snow, wondering if they were going to call school off.
Nope.
The next day. So
negative. No thanks.
Welcome to spring in Huntington, man. You don't know what you're going to get.
Nope. No, thank you. No snow. I mean, I did have to put on sweatpants as I went into work. I mean, I changed in the locker room, but like leaving the house, I had to put on pants instead of shorts. Usually I'm rolling out in flip-flops and shorts and a tank top, like undershirt, because it's warm. And I walked outside and I was like, oh shit, it's 45. Let me go back in and put on some pants real quick. So I wasn't expecting that, but I think we just got us a little cold snap. We'll be back to the 65 at 5 a.m. No problem here in the next couple of days, but
we're starting to get that warm up too, which is great. Again, if especially for this baseball season, the Herd will be traveling. You alluded to this earlier. The Herd will be traveling to Georgia Southern on Friday, playing at 6:30, and then Saturday at 2 p.m. and then Sunday at 1 p.m. Then they'll be coming back home to play WVU. That'll be Tuesday at 6 p.m. I was going to make some sort of remark, and I just didn't think of one off the cuff there to say. So many of them, I didn't know what to say. But hey, a big game, big home game. Come out Tuesday evening. Those matchups are always competitive. There's a lot of people show up to those.
Mm-hmm.
Always good time. So make sure
Yeah.
to show up.
Like first and foremost, let's take care of business this weekend. Let's continue to show the SBC that the Herd is a team to be reckoned with this year. Pitching is not a weakness. It wasn't a weakness last year either. I mean, let's be real, it wasn't. But for folks that wondered would Marshall fill all of their holes, yeah, they did. So that is not even a question to me. Of course, anybody is subject to starting getting banged around at any time. I mean, college baseball is wild like that. Bats catch fire, and boy, do they catch fire. But the Herd's been known to smack the ball around a little bit themselves this year, doing really well behind at the plate. So I just think they keep the momentum going. And of course, you can't look ahead to Tuesday. I don't think our boys will look ahead to Tuesday, but the fans probably are, because this is an away series. So the home game is Tuesday. So that's why they're looking ahead to Tuesday. Undoubtedly going to be a very, very big high energy crowd at Jack Cook Field. If you can get there, if you can get your hands on a ticket, I recommend going. I think it'll be a great environment. Win, lose, or draw, doesn't matter. The Jack will be a cool place to be on Tuesday. But let's just take care of some business first this weekend.
Yeah, let's just like you said, take care of business and win this game on Tuesday. Let's just do all the above.
Yeah, let's do that too.
That's my vote. Just keep winning. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and swing on over to softball. Took 2 out of the 3 on the road against Georgia State, dropping the first game 2-1, but came back to win the final 2 games 3-1 and then 7-1. Then they had a doubleheader at Radford on Tuesday, but that was canceled due to weather as well.
Yeah, so that was a little shocking to me, right? The Herd bats were pretty quiet on the series opener. 2-1 game, couldn't really get anything going. I did not expect for the Herd to go down there and lose the first game. I don't know why. I just thought they would go win the first game. But what kind of moxie does this squad have? Well, they come out and win the next 2 to win the series. So on the road, big deal, right? You already lost the first game of the SBC conference. And now you're like, all right, regroup, refocus, let's get this shit done. And they win the final 2 games to win the series on the road. That shows a lot of guts. That shows a lot of grit. You just can't get behind this team enough. There are so many stars on this roster and so many exciting players that it doesn't have to be the same 2 people, 3 people every game. It can be 3 or 4 different players every single game to win a ball game for the Herd. And they will win it through the air, like the long ball. They'll win it playing like small ball with running bases and pass balls and things like that. They'll win it with dominating pitching in a close, tight one. That if you're not paying attention to Herd softball, you are legitimately missing out on one of the funnest teams of the spring season. Both baseball and softball are really, really fun. Zerk's squad is cruising, and they are really easy to cheer for. The next time they are at the dot, please get out there and watch at least one of the games of the series. And I feel like if you go Saturday or Friday evening, you might go back Saturday and Sunday because they're that fun. You're going to see a lot of exciting softball played. You're going to see some really good pitching. There's any number of 10 girls on this team or more that can take the ball out of the yard with one swing. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. Of course, Blake and Bella Gerlach and Burko are having phenomenal years. They're like duking it out with one another of who's going to have the team lead in home runs.
Yeah.
And like all 3 of them are amongst the top, if not the top, in the conference. So this is a really fun game within the game. I can't wait to see who comes out of the heavyweight bout here for the home run derby for the Herd softball team.
Yeah, and you get your opportunity. You get 4 opportunities over the course of the weekend and then skip a day and then Tuesday. So you could have over a 5-day period, 4 days of softball. You've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against Georgia Southern. Friday games at 6, the Saturday games at 3, and then Sundays at noon. And then they'll be hosting Miami, Ohio on Tuesday at 4 p.m. So a lot of opportunities to check out this softball team. I think the weather's going to be more cooperative this weekend. So take your opportunity and go out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Katie, I know we talked about this in the 5 things, but this would normally be on this time of year where we would wrap up around the herd. But no, we've got one more week to talk about women's basketball and maybe a few more weeks to talk about women's basketball. Right. But my last thing for around the herd, which we talked about in the 5 things, is the women will be playing their home game for the women's NIT at home Monday at 6:00. So just to reiterate, you've got another chance to go to the CAM at 6:00 on Monday and watch these women play. So,
dude, tickets are under $9. What are we doing here? Get out and watch some tournament basketball at the CAM. These are the games we always hope we get, and we have one. Get out there and support these seniors at least one more time at home. Like, send them out the right way, man. You know they are jazzed to get that one more home game. I would be if I were a player, thinking I'd already played my last one and I get one more. God, you got to pack the CAM out. You really do. And what if it's against Ohio, for crying out loud? You don't want to let Ohio come into the CAM and walk out of there with an NIT victory. Come on, man. Get out there to the CAM, support the girls, support Julie Folks and what this squad is trying to do, what this program is doing. They're the only basketball team to make a tournament. So, hey, get out there. Exactly. Get out there. One final note, though, before you close it out. There is one men's basketball note that we have to talk about, and let me see if I can find it real quick, because there is a potential entrant into the transfer portal. Forward Drew Fuquay has he hasn't announced, but he has retweeted some tweets that say he is announcing intentions to go into the portal. So that's good enough for me. If the player's like, yep, that's true, then it probably is true. So the herd is going to lose another into the portal, forward Drew Fuquay. That's it, though.
Okay.
Got anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, and we'll put you back on the spot.
All right, there you go. Well, whether you see us at the Jack, whether you see us at the Dot, or whether you see us one last time in the CAM, Monday at 6:00, watching the women play in the WNIT, wherever you see us, we're going to be saying, go herd.
Go herd. It's the ThunderCast. We will see you next freaking week. Later.